They are listed as DK in the game. They are DAMWON Kia.
Yeah, just to be clear, so those are who we are talking about at all times.
Yes.
And they're going to be starting off this ban phase. They're on defense, so they begin with an attacker ban. Let's see what they decided to get rid of. On Clubhouse, you got a lot of options, but usually they center around hard destruction. Not so in this case. It's going to be a Montaigne ban. And that actually makes sense on Clubhouse. There's a lot of application for Montaigne on this map. G2 will answer with the Thatcher, which is standard fare. Nothing at all surprising there. Really, honestly, just been
DAMWON heard how nice Monty was talking about them on the desk, and they banned him from the game.
Wow.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Poor Monty.
Those rascals.
Now, what's going to be the last ban for G2, and they'll get rid of the Valkyrie. That's probably a safe ban. I'm guessing that has something to do with the fact that they are expecting the bans from DAMWON Kia to be somewhat unpredictable, especially based off of the Montaigne, even though that makes sense on this map. Mira, though, not at all unpredictable, so nothing too interesting to take away from that. So, the ban phase done now. We will start getting into the long-awaited action. I am super excited for this match, Parker.
I am as well. I'm extremely excited to see what's going on with G2, you know, and I don't...
That's true.
We focus so much on G2, right? And it's always funny because there's always like a back and forth as to whether or not you and I are G2 fanboys or we're actually the opposite and we actually hate them.
Nobody can make up their mind.
Yeah, they can never really tell. It's like Schrodinger's bias. It's like either we are or are not huge fanboys of G2. It cuts either way.
And you know why that is? It's because we haven't expressed that bias.
And I mean, to be fair, I don't ever care which team wins. It doesn't trouble me at all.
Yep.
And often I tend to do the opposite of what Monty does. Monty always roots for the best team because he wants to see that dominance. I've got a soft spot for the underdog. I think a lot of people do, and it sometimes leads, most of the time, and I think it actually leads to a much better story. But the reason why I say G2 is the question mark here was because what G2 looks like, it kind of answers our question with Dark Zero. Dark Zero earlier today, spoilers inbound for those that don't want to hear or haven't watched the matches so far. Dark Zero earlier today pummeled G2 by a score 7-2 and then went to the very final round against Ninjas in Pajamas, ultimately losing 8-7. That's a pretty good result for a team that has had some difficulties in the NA League to close out matches. So the question that I have is it G2? Is G2 just simply a team that is struggling, and Dark Zero isn't really as strong as they are? G2 just didn't play all that well. It's going to be interesting to see, because DAMWON comes in from APAC, and the APAC teams have actually performed pretty well today. Yeah,
DAMWON Kia definitely doing really well today, and I look forward to seeing potentially, not them actually, but you know what I mean. I look forward.
I don't know what you mean.
They look good, and they've been doing really well in their patience, Parker.
Yes.
You know what? That's what I have to commend. Their patience. Shifting focus over to G2, yeah, I agree. There's a lot of questions on the line here. A lot of conversation about whether or not they have maintained themselves from the EUL over to this event. Right off the start here, we've got Kayak opening up the platform wall. So that's into server. That's made nice and soft. It'll be opened fully by one of the players with soft destruction on attack, likely in this case going to be Virtue once he finds himself in the right position. It's just a matter of time, though. He's elsewhere currently, as you can see, opening up that single wall in construction.
I am curious where the reinforcements went from DAMWON Kia, because that panel usually ends up getting quite reinforced. Yeah, I see them. I see those. I see that. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
And then the 10th one is on. There you go. Okay. So
this is the standard reinforcements.
Those are the standard reinforcements. Some teams might not reinforce that link from Garage, but I mean, it just depends. And oh no, Kayak is caught sleeping. Could have potentially gotten Rin, as Rin ran outside on the Jaeger. Expect to see a good performance from both Yass and Rin. They come in as high-flying performers here from DWG Kia.
Yeah, there is a little bit of question as to Rin's, I guess you could say, unpredictability and how that has caused problems. But speaking of problems, it's an exchange of downs here to start things out. Both by Garage. Rin will get Kayak, though. So, advantage for DAMWON Kia.
In good lord is that site that is being used.
It's not
I don't know
bad.
what you're doing, Citizen.
I like it.
Well, Hungry was tussling over by the doorway to Garage. He's been taken out. Capitao has only seen a tiny bit of play so far today, and it's almost exclusively been in the hands of APAC. I think we're in a position to get Hungry back up as Virtue, doing that soft destruction work, manages to take out Rin. Woogiman down and bleeding out, and there you go. Collapsed upon. Hungry is back up as well, so that kill on Woogiman is secured. see a late rotate coming in from Yass. Final 40 seconds left. And you've got the rotate from that Mozzie, as we've spoken of, going over towards Master Bedroom, and will now be meeting up towards Cash. Hungry gives himself away, just continues to run. That hard breach tool will go up, a grenade tosses in, not sure what the intended target was, bounces off the bomb chassis. And now there might be a little bit of easier entry to the B-bomb site. Smokes are going off. Jonka just gonna have to wait out that toxic canister as a smoke on defense is one of its own before he can get into help. But Hungry on just a sliver of HP, he's gonna get that diffuser down. And pretty close, a big double kill from Yass. Coted and Roy Boy are down, and Yass will need to clutch. Oh my goodness, Virtue needs to get up top. If Yass knows this, he can hop on that diffuser, but he'll continue to wait on it, completely visible. Where are you, Virtue? You've got to hurry. You're running out of time. Yass gets off it. Probably could have stuck it, but he'll go right back on. Plenty of time. Virtue at the halfway point. You've got to go, Virtue. You've got to go. Only a second left, and he sticks it, and DAMWON Kia take the first round.
Wow, patience there from DAMWON Kia and Yass in particular. Great job to him to stick it out and secure that disable on the diffuser. G2, oh wow, interesting round from them. They got the garage execution down, yes, but it cost them dearly on the initial take. Too much manpower lost. And then following that up, as soon as the plant starts going down, all you have is Virtue. And now, I know it seems like Virtue was very far removed from that, and a lot of you might be asking, well, why? What is he doing? Why can't he play this post plant well? And to be honest, Yass had a lot of opportunities to disable that diffuser before he actually ended up doing it. But the reason was actually because he was playing the vertical. And it's very important that he did, because there was a player downstairs from DAMWON Kia that potentially could have denied the default plant through the floor. So he did a good job actually killing that player below, and if it weren't for Virtue, it's possible the plant might not have happened in the first place. So admittedly, he could have gone a little faster holding that post plant, but still, I'd put it more on DAMWON Kia for making the initial garage take that much more difficult than it needed to be.
Well, it was highlighted, by the way, in the new season reveal for Crystal Guard earlier today was that some changes would be coming to 3 maps, Bank, Coastline, and Clubhouse. And some changes that came to Clubhouse that involved that bar stock site upstairs that sees almost 0 play. So that was a fascinating thing to watch. But also some changes that were made to cache and that wall that leads into construction. So
yeah, I saw that one.
We'll see if that makes any difference here. Now, the hero of last round, Yass, very early on in action, waiting for a jump out from Rin to possibly get some information, and Roy Boy dies. I don't know why DAMWON Kia is taking so many chances, but those were 3 players that were all involved in some way, shape, or form with a spawn peak. And if it goes wrong in all regards, that go catastrophically. It goes right for Rin, though, and a jump out nets Hungry. Capitao is down. Not just a strong player for G2, but the utility with the Capitao dies as well.
So this is just a back and forth here, or mostly favoring, I'd say, DAMWON Kia, considering the fact that we've got a lot of time being wasted on these aggressive pushes from the defense, because as soon as you peek out like that as a defender, it now prompts the attack to hold those angles. Speaking of, look at that damage done to Rin. He'll have to fall back. Now, he still has his life, and he'll have his gun in hand, of course, and still being influenced on this round. But it's likely he will lose his next gunfight because of that brief escape.
And G2's used about a minute or so of the round with Jonka in above and managing to open up the hatches. Next one to go will have to be the kitchen hatch, but you have to clear any utility that might be there from the defenders, things like nitro cells, impacts that might be there to take care of your hard destruction. Swing and a miss from Virtue, but he'll go back to it. Oh no, he just, for a second, you could see the Maestro, and Woogiman will be there, and Virtue could have very easily gotten a pick, but he was a bit too impatient. Unlucky timing for him, because that would have been another one for G2 to join Roy Boy, who died earlier on.
Not the case, though, unfortunately, for G2. Very fortunately for DAMWON Kia. Legion Trap's a nuisance, to be sure, but G2 knows how to deal with that. Jonka by bottom main stairs. Kayak has firm control of Moto. This is a good setup from G2 that they can turn into a take on Church, but look at that impact tricking. Woogiman will be somewhat successful on that main church wall, but still the holes do get opened, and that means there's fewer anchor positions for these defenders to play.
Jonka will continue to work away at this wall in the final 40 seconds. Kayak picked up the first kill. He'll add to the second as Rin is the one to go down, the only player on DAMWON Kia that had gotten a kill this round. A nice shot from Kayak. A third will follow. Wow. A rotate comes in, a quad for him. Yass is last alive. He'd performed some serious magic previously. Not just 4 kills for Kayak, but the diffuser down as well, as Yass is hot on the trail of the Sledge of Virtue. Sees the ping marks playing around the box, and Kayak was looking for that 5th, but it's CTZN to get it, and G2 pick up round number 2.
Teamwork makes the dream work, Parker. An ace would have been nice, but a round is definitely better. G2, smiles on their faces, happy about that result, and rightfully so. As was a much more proficient take from G2 than what we had seen in previous, well, I wasn't going to say previous rounds, because it feels like we've, you know what, I'm not going to make that joke. In the previous round. So well done to G2. Getting there first on the board, and it'll be right back to church for DAMWON Kia after failing to defend that bottom floor just now. I think if I were to pinpoint the problem, is that those roams, those aggressive pushes that we saw upstairs, mostly it was just I was like pocket aggression. You know, there was nothing persistent about it. It doesn't require being droned out. It happened and then it didn't. And also, it was an exchange of players, not an outright advantage, which of course, you know, as a defender is sometimes a good thing. In that case, though, it was just too early on.
So it's another attempt downstairs for DAMWON Kia, as I think there were some things that they can go back and look more favorably on. Number one, that early aggression that we saw out of them, and we talked about it, was the 3 separate players all involved in early runouts. Yass, Rin, and Royboy all flew very close to the sun. Rin walked away with a kill, but Royboy lost their life, and Yass ended up much deeper in the site. Played it safe for the remainder of the round, and well, was put in that 1v4 where a clutch was possible, though unlikely. Some other small changes. Maybe holding that kitchen a bit more firmly than they had. Maybe stacking up and not challenging the way that they needed to with Woogiman taking that engagement that we saw down in church. Those are just little ways that you essentially throw your life away without getting anything in return.
Looks like DAMWON's going for those aggressive plays again, and DAMWON Kia will get the lead off. Pick onto Hungry. Great job to Rin to start things off.
Wow, nicely played by Rin. Coted was going in for it, but the smoke gets annihilated, and that look on CTZN's face was, you know, what the hell were you doing there? But that's okay. The smoke decides to take matters into their own hands, and this is something that APAC has often talked about. You know, we used to address aggression with LATAM, but APAC seems to take the cake in just taking fights when they don't necessarily need to, and yet do so anyway.
Fights taken. Results are tallied, and once again, it's an even exchange. In this case, I definitely would give the edge to G2. It is nice to get rid of the Capital, but there's also HP lost on Yass, and the smoke is really very potent as operators go. Yass very aggressive here. He's taken a gamble, and he's, that, it didn't spot him.
Let it go.
Let it go. And he's actually now well behind enemy lines. He can make a play from this position and potentially put his team firmly in the lead.
The runner in the night could just strike. They lack critical information. Yeah. He doesn't know Pepe left. And more trigger discipline from Yass. Could have netted more, and that got bad for him. He managed to finally get the kill on the Kayak, and the Maverick is a huge target, but things could have gone so much worse. Coted's the only one that's been dropped. The damage that's done to Yass will continue onward as G2 now trail. They've still got the Hibana up, but they're going to have to deal with the Electric Claw that Royboy has thrown into the kitchen. Once they do that, they can begin their assault, and it seems like they have. But Woogiman has some impact tricking that could potentially stop this, and it looks like it was successful. Still plenty of X-Kairos left, though, for Jonka to pull this one off.
Yeah, he's not going to be worried about the impact tricking. At best, that slows things down. And look at the bait! Oh, but it doesn't work! Woogiman walks away from that. Virtue, unfortunately, not able to land the shots. He'll try to fish for correcting his mistakes with the nade, but it just won't happen.
He still has that long range looking at the hatch, but now your focus goes over to the church wall, and CTZN will look to try to dispatch Royboy, who hears the grenade go off. Does CTZN have the confidence here? He sees the head, but for a second, the beret of Kayak shown, but Royboy wins that fight. Too many missed opportunities so far for G2, and DAMWON Kia just being better with their gunfights in relatively unimpeded engagements. So now you're left with only 10 seconds, and the final 2 players from G2 have their work cut out for them. Make that 1 as Royboy is down. Jonka's going to death drop, and Royboy died early on last round, but this time 3 kills to his name, and another round for DAMWON Gaming on the board as they regain the lead.
From control there, Parker, I'd say that DWG Gaming are looking solid. That's the best word I can use to describe their play so far. We did, of course, see in that second round some serious mistakes being made. The blue control was fleeting at best, and those early picks not favoring them. That's not great. But in this round, you lose your smoke early on, but then yass gets away with this play on main stairs, and further, Royboy, look at this. He's just holding it together on Cade, and it's I don't know. It's impressive to see that kind of solidity. So now we've got actually a 6 pick off of the Cade or the Kayak onto the alibi from yass.
Attackers need to locate and
Still 1.5.
Alibi's pick rate has shot up extensively since getting that optic added to her on loan from Frost after Frost saw her pick rate go up too. And then Ella will appear on the board. Not a stable pick or a staple pick like we've seen before, but with the shotgun in hand, at close range, you can make Ella do some mighty, mighty damage.
She's definitely a potent operator if you give her the opportunity. And it looks like they will be holding cash. So this is standard for DWG Gaming, and there's nothing surprising about this setup. If you do put the Ella over here, though, and okay, no, actually, there's one thing, so I have to correct myself now. The walls that they're reinforcing are slightly different than normal. So they are reinforcing the cache server wall, or the server platform wall, I guess you could call it, instead of the triple cache wall. So they're going to extend it to red and server to try and hold a little bit further forward. That actually might catch G2 off guard. I mean, it's not unheard of. It's been done before. It's just it's different. Usually it's just a firm cache hold, and that's where that's the hill that you choose to die on. But not so here. yass might be going for some play by Dirt Tunnel.
The only hill in this map is actually the one by the dirt tunnel, I guess. Close to where coted.
Technically correct. Yeah. The best kind of correct.
It's the best kind of correct. Oh, here goes another attempt, and put that optic to good use. Why don't you? yass playing right now at the end of the escape tunnel, dirt tunnel, whatever you'd like to call it, and yass will continue to roam around. 4-1, the best player so far for his team. A big 3K, of course, governing that when he ended up getting the diffuser. Nitro Cell from coted goes out, Kayak goes down. Yet again, the Maverick, the first to die for G2. And I mean, high impact at this point. You've opened up the one wall that leads directly in from Jacuzzi, so that's not too bad. But at the same time, with the way that Kayak played that one round in particular, and being the main player to get the diffuser down, you don't want to lose him too early.
CTZN did a lot of damage to coted there just now in the bathroom with his grenade. No kill though. And he can see the player on main stairs. I believe that is yass. And he is challenging with that suppressor. You don't see suppressors very often, Parker, in competitive play, but that is exactly what we have on yass. And I didn't catch it, but I don't know if he's even using the 1.5. I mean, to each their own. Yeah, there it is. So
he's using the hollow. There's no suppressor on that.
I swear I heard a suppressor. I guess
wrong.
I've just heard. You know what? I'm bad.
The best kind of wrong.
I am hard of hearing.
You were technically wrong.
Hard of hearing. I thought I heard something.
Oh
I
my
didn't.
goodness,
yass.
Virtue, what are you doing? At least the para in the
There you
hands of
go.
Hungry is there for the refrag, but that was a bit too belated. And these are just errors that G2 are making by lack of droning. Clubhouse is not a map that is that hard to drone out, especially when you know that your opponents are playing this unpredictably. There's 55 seconds remaining in the round. Rin is so far off-site, holding map control that doesn't really need to be held at the moment, but is waiting to strike on a late flank, and G2 are not aware of this. This could potentially be an even greater problem for them later on. Or as I say that, they were aware. They had the information, and Rin gets blown up from below as that's some coordination from outside of the window leading into construction.
Very well done there from G2, but now they need to convert that into, of course, a site hit with only 25 seconds left. It's not a lot of time to work with.
No, not at all, but at least you got the ult in the hands of Royboy, and he's going to have to cover multiple angles, taking so much damage. The stand-in right now has it tough. 2 more members, by the way, one of which is an Ella, but they all fall, and the fire arrow comes in. CTZN gets one, coted it down, and they'll need to finish him off. Find it, but no! Oh my, a drop, and the diffuser's in as well, but CTZN is there as the insurance policy. That one was way too close for comfort, and G2 take round number 4. These two teams right now looking so evenly matched.
Right, you are about being too close for comfort there, Parker. Let's be honest, if CTZN had not been in a position to get that final kill, then G2 loses because somebody dropped. Also, Lots of time used there from G2 clearing out early on. The roamers were a problem. They continue to be a problem. I agree with you, Parker. I think Clubhouse is the type of map that is very well rehearsed in terms of how you're going to drone it out. And it is expected that DAMWON Kia will be giving you some curveballs. So I'm surprised how... Maybe I'm not surprised, actually. I mean, this is the question that we were raising at the beginning of the match. Is G2 in a position right now where we could be surprised by their lack of success? Or is it just... I don't know. Is it just what we should start expecting? I don't know. Well, we're finding out clearly right here. And I will say also, the 2-2 scoreline right now is not necessarily representative of one team being better than the other. Obviously, it's even. It's not mistakes on G2 or on DAMWON Kia side. It's I think it's just these are evenly matched teams currently. To be completely honest.
It certainly seems that way. Also, don't discredit the fact that DAMWON Kia are on defense on Clubhouse.
That's true. That's worth keeping in mind. Although.
10 seconds to go.
I do wonder how that's going to play into the second half, because we have DAMWON Kia going for all these aggressive defensive plays. These, oh, wow, we're going to peek on everything. What do they do on attack? How do they keep their edge going on to attack? That's a big question in my head.
G2 just seem very set in playing their game. And obviously, DAMWON Kia is trying to set a tempo by playing this loose roam style that not a lot of teams do on Clubhouse. Like, there is an ebb and flow to this map that has not really been present so far through these 4 rounds. And I mean, of course not. DAMWON Kia are coming from APAC. It's a region that varies wildly from what we tend to see of the other 3 regions. So things are going to be a little different, and we get that. But for G2, very similar to what we saw from Dark Zero. Dark Zero was the one who set the pace through most of that match, and G2 was constantly adapting to it. If it weren't for the fact that G2 has such proficient shooters, I do believe that DAMWON Kia would have been able to take advantage of a couple more of these rounds because of their style of strategy and G2 not being proactive about it.
Yeah, they've been very reactive, G2.
Yes.
And they might be able to correct that. They still have plenty of half left here. These 2 rounds are going to be very important. Right now, they're trying to open up that platform wall, but they're dealing with this mute jammer that's actually being seriously problematic. They haven't been able to manage to get that nade on the mute jammer. There we go. It took a while, but job done. Is he going to? No. Okay, he's too late.
You can't get it again.
Woogiman tried.
No, yeah.
And he failed, but effort is better than nothing at all.
Rin looking for yet another run out. This has happened multiple rounds, but I don't think there's anybody there for the bait to be taken. At this point, you've killed half of the round for DAMWON Kia. Not too bad. But Rin doesn't want to waste too much time there. At some point, he's going to have to get back to the rest of his team. As for G2, they're establishing control over on the west side of the building. That means they've got logistics. That means that they've got weight room, that they've got master bedroom. And Hungary's actually spotted the Jaeger on a drone, and Rinna didn't even see it coming. Good night.
So that right there is the discussion that had been had on the analyst desk about how Rin at times can leave himself very exposed, very isolated, and could just give away a pick to the enemy team. And that's what we're seeing here now. G2 read the play. They spotted him on a drone likely, and there you go. There's your pick.
Just mentioned it perfectly. As long as Rin can be reined in by the team, obviously an extraordinarily talented player, very mechanically gifted, but sometimes a little restraint goes a long way. And if you're giving your life away for no real reason, and Rin did in that particular instance, you're not going to have really any effect on the remainder of this matchup. And Roy Boy is the one to try and stop and execute now as we turn our focus to the final 30 seconds. Just watching the flames spread over by the A-bomb, Roy Boy is still quite safe. There was a grenade tossed up by G2 in that particular area. Did not get the mute jammer. And they are befuddled by this. G2 have no entry point from construction, and they've wasted 15 of those 30 seconds. They might end up getting mowed down by the Alda waiting as a toxic canister goes off in front of Roy Boy's eyes. Smoke from Hungary will try to cut things off, and then they'll all jump in. Down goes Kayak, the first of all. Are the dominoes going? In which direction do they go? G2 has control of A. They'll need to get the diffuser down. Hungary's doing that in a lockout as Jonka comes online, picks up 2 big kills. Woogiman stopped by CTZN. Yass is the last one alive in a 1v3, and diffuser's down. He's snapping on the heads, though. Down goes Jonka, and the Capital of Hungary will be exposed, but for a second. Yass playing off of what little information he has at his disposal. Hungary has now moved over to another part of the wall, this time not exposed. Down goes the deployable shield. Yass still known, and if they peek red, then Hungary will be there waiting. Capital with gun in hand swings out on it, and G2 ends up taking that round, their second in a row, and for the first time in this matchup, they have the lead.
Well, Parker, you raised the issue as it was happening. 15-ish seconds left on the clock, and looky here, G2 cannot open the cache wall. That causes a lot of problems. It means your bottleneck is a single door It's not likely that you're going to be able to convert that into a round win. So what does G2 do? Well, they say, heck it, and let's just go for broke. They do exactly that. Everyone rushes in. Breach, window, cash door, every contact point that G2 has access to, they do it all at once in unison. Perfect. It's exactly the answer, the only answer that could have worked in that scenario, but I do have to critique them a little bit. They did put themselves in that position when they failed to be able to deal with a mute jammer and impact tricking. I mean, it's not unheard of. It's just something that, you know, it's going to cause you problems in the long run, and G2 are putting themselves in danger of losing rounds like that. It's good for them that they did. They took the round, or it's good for them that they won. They took the round, and that's important. But very easily could have gone the other way, given the circumstances that they let themselves in.
Yes.
Yes, very good. Indeed, I concur.
Final defense for DAMWON Kia. It's going to go downstairs to Church. The site rotation for this first half has been what we come to expect.
Has it?
Yeah, no bar stock, and then the other three sites have been played.
Didn't we see bar stock recently?
We saw it in the NA League, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, something like
do not go well. I don't need to, there's no spoilers there, so. No spoilers for you.
It went as you would
just the way
expect.
Yes. Bar stock does not see a ton of play for a wide variety of reasons. We don't need to dwell on it right now in the midst of this match. There's more pressing matters.
Like this dirt pressure here we're seeing from Kayak.
Very early.
Yeah, and he did it without exposing himself to that main stairs window because he's worried about the aggression from DAMWON Kia.
Last time around on this defense, Roy Boy was trying to hold off the Horde from that particular location, but was doing so as Kayak, as you can see from the DWG Kia lineup. There's no Kayak on the board. There was a Bandit in the Kayak before, so double the denial, double trouble, but now it's just coted as the only one to stop any of those pesky gadgets from going off. Yass has been having a great game and is the highest rated player on the team and one of the highest rated players in all of APAC. And while he's feeling one, and will continue to engage with Jonka, who hasn't lost a single tick of HP. Can't say the same for Yass, though he's lost about 75%.
Yeah, he's feeling one for sure. I'm sure he's feeling those bullets. He'll die likely in the next gunfight that he takes, unless he's hitting some pretty impressive shots. We know he's capable of it, but it's going to be a tall order. Look at this Vigil, though. We do have Rin in a position where he could potentially flank this kitchen presence because of those open walls. You do have the fence repel for G2, so they've got the flank watch, but it doesn't cover all angles, and it's still a bit of a risk. So this this roam going uncontested and dealt with, I guess, for G2, unaddressed, is going to cause problems.
And Rin and Yass are supporting each other, maybe not as closely as you'd think. Rin playing near the kitchen. That hatch opened up in bar stock, and Rin is still there, persisting. Gadget is active. But while all this is happening, it's a worthy stall, but G2 are now focused on pressuring the site, and they're just going to burst right in. CTZN takes matters into his own hands. Yass and Rin, it's time to go home. Call the cavalry. A third on the board now for CTZN as he'll look to blind them off. It's some Candela's coming out from Hungary as he dies, and Rin picks up a big double kill, coming back to the site. So maybe, just maybe, raiding in Rin is something that doesn't always need to happen every single round.
Still plenty of time here. And an attempted plant by B3. Lots of information being relayed. These defenders have some kind of gadget to relay that info deep inside of Arsenal. Kayak going for the plant behind B3. Yass will rotate into Arsenal. This is huge. He can make a play here, and he'll do some damage to Jonka, but he's barely still up. Rin gets another kill. That's his third, but he's put down to 1 HP. It's one shot on any player of quad, but it's not enough, as Jonka will shut down Rin before he gets the ace.
An ace is what was needed for Rin as we were semi-critical of the style of play. Reaper actually talked about this in a tweet that he did not too long ago now, as the first half is in the books and the two teams will transition sides. Reaper had talked about, well, what do you do? If you see a player do something that is demonstrably wrong, but it works, how do you frame it? In this case, Rin didn't do anything wrong. What we were trying to address and get at is that it was an unorthodox play, and at some point you need to get back to the rest of your team. Rin did that and picked up 2 kills along the way. It was actually perfectly timed, and then was able to hold down the fort in Church. While G2 was caught amidst the chaos of that diffuser getting planted, which was done so successfully, Rin very nearly ace-clutched to give the round to his team. DAMWON Kia picked up 2 rounds in the first 3. Since then, it's been all G2. The site rotation for the first 6 rounds was CCTV twice, Church downstairs 3 times, and the master bedroom site just 1 time. The very first defense for G2 is going to go to the least played site of the 3, up to the bedroom.
I actually really like this site. I was talking about it with Jesse earlier today, I believe it was. I can't tell if it was today or yesterday. It's been a long one. But we were having a discussion about Jim, brief discussion. And he said he thinks it's one of the more, I think he said something along the lines that he thinks it's one of the more underrated sites, and I would happen to agree with him, especially in competitive. We often see Jim go the way you don't expect, because your tertiary site is usually one that most teams are not too terrible on, but not too comfortable on at the same time, and so they put it in the back burner. Jim is not that site. It's actually quite practical, and many teams actually defend it further up in their rotation than tertiary. So I like to see what G2 can do here, as it is their very first defense in the second half.
Well, I will say I am quite proud of how Royboy has fit into this roster. CATsang is unable to compete today due to medical conditions. We're not fully aware of the circumstances, and obviously privacy comes first. We were told that Royboy was coming in as a substitution. Frankly, we don't know how long that will last for.
Yep.
DAMWON needs to play 6 matches before the group stages end on Wednesday evening. Will Roy play all of them? We don't know. That is a question that is just simply not answerable at the moment. But still, it doesn't look like things are that outside of the ordinary. Is it obviously helping DAMWON? No, of course not. And the team would likely be stronger with their starter on it, but still, Royboy in particular's performance has not been a significant issue for this team.
Do what you can with what you have available, and I gotta say, DAMWON are definitely pulling well here in this match. Only 2 rounds, but not terrible. G2, also, we must address the fact that G2 are proving to be a much more solid team than their earlier performance today would have suggested, and that's always great to see. They seem to have gotten over what was ailing them earlier. Also, you know, Chile could be a factor there, but let's not get too deep into that.
Also, DZ looked like a pretty good team, and DAMWON is playing with a sub. They're not at full strength, and APAC teams are still going to have some struggles in comparison to the other 3 regions, just based on historical precedent. The fact that it has been this close and this competitive so far from DWG Kia is pretty good. But Coted's going to take the fight directly to Hungary and walk away with it. Jonka takes down Yass. Finally, Hungary's finished off. And that's a nice slap from the knife, but then turned around and Jonka picks up the 2nd kill. Immediately pivoting to watch the window, he did not reactivate the Aruni gate the way that he thought. He actually missed that shot. I'm not sure if he's aware of this, but you're going to have to look to the right and realize that you made a mistake. And I think he might have spotted it. There you go. This time around, it's fixed. And that minor course correction could eat about 20 HP if they go to charge through it. A nicely tossed nade from Royboy will bring the sledge even at 5 kills to 5 deaths. Kayak finished off from a cheeky angle as Royboy looks to secure. Yet another on the board. Virtue missed opportunity. It's him and CTZN now. And Rim now just bursts in. Oh my goodness. CTZN in a 1v3. If you want anybody to do it, it's him. But Rin! A huge turnaround for DAMWON, and their first attack goes in their favor.
LMG working out great for Rin there, as he can just keep his gun up and the ammunition keeps flowing. If I'm not mistaken, there's a lot of ammunition. There are 150 rounds, I believe. You've got a lot to work with. So DAMWON, the first attacking round of the second half will go their favor, and that's a great sign for the rest of this half, considering that they were down 2 rounds. Now they're 1 within bringing this to a tied game. So G2, they went to Jim. Now you could argue that's a bit of a risk. I would say Jim is really good, but it didn't work out for them. Now they're going to reassess things, and they're going to head down to church. That Jim defense, though, a lot of things just didn't go the way you might expect. I want to especially point some fingers at Hungary here, because it's playing on Clash, excuse me, not in Clash, mind you. And he's trying to slow down in Bathroom, but he got close up on the wall, allowing for that melee to happen, and that's what really opened up the round before DAMWON. It's just kind of questionable.
There was a couple small mistakes from G2. I mean, Jonka getting caught on the wall, not ideal. Having to turn and look at the attention towards the doorway, not ideal. Kayak, a shred of Kayak being shown around the door frame, getting punished when he could have very safely retreated. Also another mistake caused by G2. But these mistakes don't happen in a vacuum, and there are lots of teams that commit mistakes quite frequently. The difference is that DAMWON were strong enough to punish them, and that's the key point.
Yeah, we say punish, capitalize, whatever you want to call it, and DAMWON are proving themselves capable of doing that. Now that is one of the marks, not the only, of a great team, and it's obviously part of why they are here right now. So focusing in on this round, we do have a roam from G2, but it falls back pretty quickly. Virtue was out there, and he's gone back to site. Now it's all 5 on site right now for G2. It'll be a top floor clear for DWG Kia, so they're taking no risks. They're going to be sure that they know there's nobody off site before they start focusing on the vertical, and I think this is the right way to do it. This is what we expected more from G2, but didn't see as much of.
Rin just trails CTZN in terms of the kill tally, as it's a downstairs hold, and G2 seem very firmly solidified in and around the basement confines. The diffuser in the hands of Coted is just outside of the building, and they'll go back onto drones to try and assess where these G2 players are located. Now, CTZN seems to be the closest to the action, playing on the main stairs. Royboy has a nice line of sight caught up in that direction. And if CTZN looks the wrong way, could be an easy pick on, so far, G2's best player.
It's not just yet. It looks like Jonka's going to be doing some Kayak juggling there. That's some spray through the floor. Roy will eat quite a lot of damage for that, actually about half of his HP. So that's a nice setup there from G2, understanding the sound cues from that staircase.
Half of the round expired at this point, and the next focus for DWG Kia is going to be to take out those hatches. With the Kayak on the board and Jonka babysitting the Electric Claw inside of Moto, might be a little bit tricky to dislodge them, especially on that hatch in particular, because there's no soft destruction around it. With Thatcher being banned, the challenges that come from it are pretty tough. As I say that, though, Jonka doesn't have the Electric Claw at his disposal any longer, and the hatch above him will very quickly go, likely prompting a relocation of that Kayak.
Possible, but not quite yet. We're seeing all of those hatches opened up, actually. Got a gate on the hatch inside of kitchen, none on the others. Focus here for DWG Kia is, as of yet, undetermined. They've got a lot of options since they've opened everything up, but it's still 5 versus 5, and G2 can still fight back.
Rin's the next one to take some damage here, as all of those flashbangs were tossed down at the Surya gate, and none of them seem to work. There's also one now governing over the hatch that Royboy is playing off of, and this is a precarious spot. Does some damage to the leg of Jonka, but he'll just walk away. Royboy continuing on in this particular instance is the magnets that are all stacked up by Blue, doing wonders, and Hungry is in a tough position as the fire will spread around him and engulf him. The flames claiming Hungry as that's the very first casualty. A follow-up from Coted as the whole kill feed turns blue, but Virtue says none of that. I'll take 2 for the trouble. Swung on by Rin as CTZN is sitting from above, and he's gonna need to drop at some point. Yass and Rin watching the drop. Yass will have this one, no problem, and DWG Kia have tied the game.
Beautiful play there from DWG Kia, a decidedly blue-focused take after opening up all of the drops. Now, it's great to see that DWG Kia can focus up on the specific target of their choosing, and in this case, Hungry, he just didn't have the tools to negate that. Now you'd think, oh, well, it's Wamai, but there was such good clear from DWG Kia earlier in the round to clear out those Wamai magnets and solve any potential problems that the Firebolts would have had. Because of that, hard hold for Hungry, and then it falls apart from there. It's really just DWG Kia being so good at trading each other out, too, on the entry. They had firm angle control across the board. You really got to commend Virtue as well, it has to be said. He put up a heck of a fight. That should have been an easy breezy round for DWG Kia, and he made it a lot more difficult than it needed to be.
Yeah. The one thing that I've really liked out of DWG Kia over these last 2 rounds is while the front of their attack goes in one direction, there has always been somebody on the flank, and both times it's been Rin. Rin going in on his own in that previous round, the very first round on attack, being able to find that opening and catch G2 off guard from the back. This time, once that blue presence had been established, coming in and sweeping through them.
Yeah, I mean, it is worth discussing the value of having that X factor on your team. Now, often it's realized in other ways, not exactly the same way that Rin, what Rin does for his team. But it is, yeah, I mean, it has its value. It just has its risks as well, and this is the ongoing conversation. I think there's a lot more to it than we can actually get into on live on broadcast, but it is an interesting topic. I'm not sure exactly what's going on here. Jonka seemed to be wanting to poke his head out. It's just, Jonka was calling for Virtue, who had no holes in the door, and he could see under the door because he was on the ladder, and Virtue was playing off of the call. That's actually really cool.
There was a drone on Virtue, though.
Yeah, so he got caught.
So you obviously can't stay there for too long, and now at this point, Jonka has moved away, and Virtue will persist. But Jonka's up top. They're going to look to try to clear off this panel, even though for the moment it doesn't look like there's any denial applied to that main wall.
Yeah, I mean, there are options, obviously, for G2. They do have a Kayak, but I'm guessing it's probably on the garage panels. And, oh, they're going to do the trick! Oh, you never see this in pro play. That's so cool.
Wonderfully done.
Yeah, so if you get certain parts at the top and the bottom of a reinforcement, you can do it with Habana, you can do it with Maverick. But if you just get key parts, then it'll actually break the whole reinforcement. Really cool to see DAMWON Kia doing that. Not a lot of people do that at this level.
I'm calling him out for it right now. I bet you anything we'll see Macy J tweet about that clip and talk about the ingenuity of this game, and he'll say, this was so cool to watch.
Yeah, yeah. It was really cool to see live.
It's free impressions, Macy. Do it anyway.
Do it, Macy.
Whether you were going to do it or not, just do it. Anyway, they've been able to open it up, and they didn't expend too much. Okay, Woogiman, you had 0 kills until the previous round. You were the last player to find your way onto the board. You do that, but you have a very short life expectancy in this particular round. Yeah. Halfway done, and you wander into Garage all on your lonesome. Ooh. But a refrag from the other hard destructor on the board. This is the Hibana to take down CTZN. Narrowly a second for coted, but Jonka's up there still, unable to be moved from that position. Royboy could be the next one to go and tussle, as Rin, watching the breach, was credited with that kill for DAMWON Kia. Both of these teams sitting into a 3v3 with roughly a minute to go means that it's anybody's game.
Anybody's indeed, Parker. Slight HP advantage here for DAMWON Kia, but it just evaporates. And the re from Rin at top red, and he runs it for a second. No, that's Yass, excuse me. Rin does get a second, though, as he comes into server and locks out that round. Very well done from DAMWON Kia, and it's going to be a tactical timeout for G2. I think this is the appropriate time to pause and consider what's happening. Absolutely the correct time to call this. You have lost the plot at this point. This is a very attacker-sided clubhouse that we're witnessing right now. There have only been 2 defensive victories. That's unheard of on this map, frankly. Yeah, it's not a lot for Clubhouse. Clubhouse is definitely supposed to be, I'd say, slightly defender-sided these days, but it can shift. It has an ebb and flow, like some other maps we've talked about before. And yeah, I mean, why the long faces, you want to say, but I kind of get it. Right now, G2 are down 1 round, where at first it looked like they were in a great position. I remember, actually just a while ago, the jubilation on the faces of G2. Do you remember that? The big smiles and everything? Absolutely. Well, they're gone. I mean, frustration sets in. Has anybody ever talked about how Jonka looks a lot like Jake Gyllenhaal? Don't hate me. You're going to say you don't know who Jake Gyllenhaal is. Would you care to? Oh my God, he's in Donnie Darko, Michael. Oh, him! Wait, is he the protagonist? I haven't seen the movie. You haven't seen the movie? No, I haven't, but I know everybody else has seen the movie. Okay, well then, he's like the main character of the movie. Okay. I think I watched the movie when I was like 12 or something. I don't know. He was also, was it Mysterio in the latest Spider-Man? Drawing a blank. I don't think I watched the latest Spider-Man. Okay. I might have. Anyway, Jonka, for you out there who are photoshopping gurus. He's an actor, Michael. Of course, he's a famous person. No, I got a friend named Jake Gyllenhaal. We're just talking about on a level of familiarity that I expect you to understand. I'm sorry. Who's Jake Gyllenhaal? Oh, he's my friend growing up. You probably don't know who he is. I don't know celebrities very well. I feel bad. Anyway. This is what he has to He looks eerily similar to Jake Gyllenhaal. That was my whole point. We spent way too long talking about him now. You know what? I'm glad we spent time on it together. It builds our friendship. With the delays, we spent a lot of time together. That's true, we have. And we will spend many more. Making up for lost time and the fact that I have not seen you since 6 Invitational 2020. So it is wonderful to be able to see you in person. Likewise, Parker. He's wearing all denim, by the way, chat. I just wanted to make you aware of this. Yeah, he told me it's called a Canadian tuxedo. You just need the jean jacket. It was a total accident, actually. He was like, this is just how it happened. Yeah, I just didn't have any shirts available because the other ones are being cleaned. And yeah, it was just an accident. Nice weird jeans. Yeah. Well, let's see what the timeout from G2 can do, as we're now just a couple seconds into live action. And DAMWON Kia have been playing damn well, if I can say that. DAMWON Kia? No, I would not say that. Okay. I would say DAMWON Kia, as that's their name. Okay. But they've been playing exceptionally well, and I don't want to say that they're currently being carried by Rin and Yass, but they have done heavy lifting in terms of the fragging department. They have been able to find openings for the team and using good utility. Rin picks up kill number 15 in a really impressive showing right now, and the same trick will be applied to the jacuzzi wall. Open sesame, but this one doesn't work out for them. Unfortunately, something went awry. Yeah, so this is the trick when you're doing these kinds of, well, tricks, is sometimes they just don't work. Now let's see if the correction works. No, I think they were correcting it. I think they were just I think it has something to do with this bit at the top here,
Yeah.
the way that the reinforcement is integrated with the ceiling. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, that wall looks a little bit more difficult to pull the trick off on.
Entirely possible. And they're going to see if they can burn out any magnets or ADSs that might be on the board. There's no Wamai in play, so you only need to worry about the ADSs, but with 6-pick being a thing, it's entirely possible the DAMWON Kia don't actually know every single operator that's up there right now. But Yass's drone is going to go in, and Virtue has to move out of that position lest he takes some damage. It blows up next to the bed. Halfway point of the round has just passed, and this could be DAMWON Kia moving on to match point.
It's going to be definitely a hard push, though, because we still have 4 players from G2 up. Only a minute 10 to work with, and that breach did cause some problems. I'm curious if they could get in, and yes, they can. Coted is in right now, so he's playing in the bathroom hallway, and he can make a play here. He's got diffuser in hand. He's ready to go.
Try and make some noise, maybe get a sneaky plant down as Rin will distract. Coted has map control, but you have to be wary of the fact the floor has been shot out inside of Gym. And if that's being watched, then Coted will be walking in. Somebody from G2's eyes will be on it. But for a final 45 seconds here will determine whether DAMWON Kia puts G2 on the ropes or if G2 can equalize. This has been very firmly the Korean team in the lead as Yass gets a kill, then drops in, and Hungry punishes him for that. But trading out will only continue to benefit DAMWON Kia because that opening pick that was picked off by Rin. And in Rin jumps. Coted looks for the plant. Rin silencing one. Oh my goodness! What a play by Rin! And Hungry stands alone against the 3 from DAMWON Kia. Coted on low HP needs to get this down. Nitro Cell tossed out. It doesn't connect the way they want it to. They've got intel, but nobody is covering Hungry's position inside of construction. And with 10 seconds left, Woogiman and Rin will have to do this themselves. They'll retrieve that diffuser, but when Hungry goes to swing, he could capitalize off of this. Woogiman planting right next to the reinforcement, and there goes Hungry. Where's Rin to watch this? You need to be confirmed. Down he goes. It's a quad kill from Hungry. The ace on the board for him. Woogiman is full HP, only a single kill, but match point for your team if you can pull this off. An ace clutch on the board for Hungry. It's possible. He'll go on to the diffuser, prompting Woogiman to get a little bit closer, and Hungry dies. That's match point for DAMWON Kia.
Such a close round there, Parker, but only thanks to the heroics from Hungry. Apart from that, DAMWON Kia picked apart G2. I mean, that's the story. Even though getting that breach open was a trial in of itself, because of the unfortunate fact that their trick did not work, they did eventually get the wall open, thanks to Maverick. In all likelihood, they probably made the hole a little bit bigger. G2 did not contest that breach, not really. They forfeited that bathroom hallway and bathroom in general, so G2 are on the back foot already. And then DAMWON Kia realize, oh man, it's free real estate. Get a couple picks, thanks to Rin, and then they go for that push into Gym. All the while, Rin picking up kills on all of the anchors from G2 who are activated and trying to contest the breach push. So it's calculated, and it is that X factor. We were talking about Rin. We've been talking about Rin throughout the entire broadcast. And rightfully so. He sits at 17 kills right now, and he is always the person, as you pointed out, who is behind whatever it is G2 is doing, whether they be on attack or defense, and it's working very well, Parker.
Oh, DAMWON Kia are just putting in an absolute performance right now. And yes, it's so easy to just fall into the trap of, well, it's 1 or 2 players. We'd already talked about Yass and Rin just a round ago and the contributions they made on this team.
I mean, look at Woogiman. He has 2 kills, and he just won that last round, putting us on match point.
That's an impactful kill.
It's an impactful frag. He won a round for his team. Let's be clear. I know Rin got a lot of kills there, but
Rin was the main spear.
Tip of the spear.
The tip of the spear.
Yeah.
And we give
the edge of the knife.
We give a tip of the hat. I have no doubt that today's
Can't
MVP
say
is
the next
probably going to end up being NJR, but if there's a name that's in the conversation, it's got to be Rin with the performance that he's put in so far in this matchup. So we'll see what more can come of it. It is match point for DAMWON Kia. Thus far on the day, APAC is 2 for 2, or 2 and 2 in their 4 matches, with a victory for both Invictus and Cyclops earlier on, and then a loss from Cyclops earlier too, and Invictus, of course. So we'll see.
I like this angle. Can I just say that angle?
You're allowed to say
it sees main stairs, and he's trying to catch the potential aggression from CTZN right there. And oh my god, look at those types of mutants. You just don't see those every day through multiple layers, and they both know that they're looking at an enemy. Well done. I mean, it's just cool to watch.
It was the same play that we saw last time with Citizen on that spot. If you recall, and Roy Boy got softened up extensively. And no, for North American fans, it's not Yo Boy Roy. That's a content creator who I believe is still with Space Station. I could be wrong. But that's not the same one. This is the stand-in for DAMWON Kia, taking place of CATsang.
Yep.
Now, the focus goes on to Kitchen, though, for DAMWON Kia, as they will continue to use as many of those X-Kairos as they need to. Still 8 remain in that launcher for Coted, just trying to open up that Kitchen hatch. They've managed to get 2 of them off. All the impacts have been expended, so what G2 does next is just simply get out of the area. The hatch will go, the control will also go in favor of the attackers, so you just need to be ready for it. Citizen is prepared to greet anybody who should be foolish enough to choose to drop through that hatch.
So DAMWON Kia have firm control over those top 2 floors. They're opening up. Last time we were in this position, DAMWON Kia were able to convert it to a round win by focusing all their efforts on blue. Now, I have to imagine G2 is going to be more prepared for that. And in this case, we do not have a CAPtang, which is what enabled the blue take in the first place for DAMWON Kia. So it's going to be a little bit of shift, I would imagine, for DWG Kia.
I was intrigued that if that Rotero drone had gone closer to the wall, if some of the wall could have been opened up as well. But this one will go. It's going to stick to the wall, and Citizen will see an explosion right next to him. Immediately takes his focus off of those sledge hatches that have been created. Citizen will continue to watch this with 30 seconds left. You best know that Bloodlust will soon follow. 25 seconds, and everybody is still alive. Citizen trying his best. Virtue dies first, as Yass putting in the work that is needed for his team. Still patrolling this hatch is Citizen. He's dancing with death right now, but Rin is in, Roy Boy with 1, and it's Kayak to stand against DAMWON Kia. With the match on the line, he'll manage to take out Woogiman, immediately turn, but the match goes to the Koreans. DAMWON Kia just crushed G2 7-4, and they pick up a huge victory.
And that seems to be the story for G2 for the day, as they get crushed here. Not quite as hard as they did against Dark Zero, but that's 6 rounds total in 2 matches, Parker. That's not ideal. Congratulations to DAMWON Kia, who seem to be absolutely ecstatic at that win, and rightfully so. They earned it.
Rin finishes the day with 19-6. 19-6. Sorry, finishes the match 19-6. That is really something when you go to think about it. An absolutely stellar performance from not just Rin, but for the rest of this team, and for a whole group of players who are getting their first experience at a huge international event. This is a massive first W, especially over a historic team like G2.
Yeah, it's something that I think you can look at with reverence, and I do think that also that DAMWON Kia is going to be building a lot of fans here today.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially about a lot of the stuff that has been talked about on the analyst desk by Monte Cristo. I think there's been some really great points raised about this team. So it's nice to be introduced to an international competitor such as DAMWON Kia in such a fitting way as we've seen here today.
Absolutely, and I'm sure Monty is ecstatic, by the way, because we know his love of all teams Korean, routinely supporting the Korean teams, regardless of what esport he's a part of, repeatedly referring to them as the greatest region in the world. And while we've never really seen any Korean dominance in Rainbow Six, the best team that had tended to come from that is that Mantis FPS roster that up until last night was actually signed with Cloud9. Cloud9 obviously announcing that they have taken a step back and are no longer going to be a part of that team, the team going back to Mantis FPS. Korea has never really had a time to shine in Rainbow Six. They've always been consistent. We've always seen a Korean team compete at this level. Is DAMWON Kia the team that's going to pick up the torch? And they all look pretty damn emotional, I gotta say, and it's very well deserved.
Yeah, I'm happy for them, and it's a big win, but we also need to talk about the elephant in the room here, and that's G2 as well. And you know what? There are some people who can talk about that.
No, absolutely. We've got 3 of them. We employ them. They go to a desk. They're analysts. An analyst desk is ready to cap off what we just saw in this matchup. So we'll toss it on over to Monty, Jess, and Skies.